So apparently I forgot to edit together my Diamond 4 run, so we're just going to do that live now. Basically, the way my editing software works, I can cut any spot where I'm not talking. So if something's really boring or nothing's happening, it'll be cut because I'll be quiet. So we are going first. We won the dice roll, starting our journey through Diamond 4 once again. We're at 19 and 19. I think we might actually be at 19 and 20. I was just replaying my games back. It looks like I might not have pressed the loss button on a certain video, so not sure. Either way, our hand is awful. So my assumption is that the game plan here is pass. Hoping that Ash plus Max C is good enough to play through. So let us see what our opponent can do, considering they get to draw a card and then do nothing. So they're taking a long time to draw. So they're going to summon Sylvie of the White Forest. So if this Ash doesn't stop them, I'm basically going to lose because Sylvie is LZ and LZ is Wanted. Wanted is Snake Eye, and that's all she wrote. So our opponent is just being forced to attack. So that's a good sign. But we have to see if we can draw a card that does something. We've drawn Aruha, which is pretty good, into a monster with exactly 1500 attack. We can do the crash. But we normal summon Aruha, go for battle. In main phase 2, we have Snake Eye, Original Simple Spoils to try and do more plays. The only problem with this is it plays into, what do you call it, Fuolos. So I grab Sharvara, thinking that it would be a safer setup off Original, because at least I get to set a card. But what card do I really get off of this? If they have Maxi, so I'm summoning once here to do anything. So we're summoning, I have normal summon, so I guess it just makes more sense to go into Vecatron. So Vecatron plus Sharvara. Sharvara can set Chamber just to bring itself back. They have Valor, so what are we going to do? Not a lot. Set Chamber and pass turn. They're going to start off with Mina LZ. But as LZ gives them Sylvie, and Sylvie is the full combo, so, and they have cross out for Maxi, so it doesn't really make sense to do much else. This is basically a game where we should conceive. LZ searches Sylvie, Sylvie can then search for Woes, or so on to the next game. So we win the dice roll, we'll choose to go first. Hopefully we'll draw slightly better than we did last time. You've drawn a play, and we drew Max C. Our opponent's name is Negation now, which is funny. Alright, we have double Dark Ruler. Like, this hand would be fine going second, but it's not as good going first. What card do we pitch? We could pitch a Dark Ruler, but Trula can't be summoned currently. But at least it's an option to summon next turn if we resolve the Void Beast. If I opt to keep a Trula, we'll set Beast and pass. A ground for turn, and then they are playing Blue Eyes. So, Blue Eyes is pretty weak to Max C and Void Beast, I think. The question becomes, should I do this now? And I guess theoretically I should let the True Light hit the board first, because then they can't hit the Perulia, Fuolos. And they have Max C, so it's irrelevant. Now I chain my Max C so that if they call by it or cross out it, they negate their Max C. Now I probably should have, it gives them incentive to let my Max C resolve, but I'm only summoning once this turn, whereas they're going to summon multiple times, so it's probably in their best interest to negate Max C, even if it doesn't give them a draw, unless they really needed that card. We'll send one Deviati and one Anokuth. They go for Magnemite. Now, I'm not a big fan of just banishing the target of Magnemite, because I'd rather it not just be able to use them the following turn. I also determined it's probably just better to let the Magnemite hit the board and then negate it from the field. So 1, they got special summon. 2, they got rid of their own Maiden of White. And 3, but we still get to negate the Magnemite. We also play around Called By because we have the Anofu on board. Do we negate a Called By on it? If they activate True Light to get a play, we just get to negate it. They've got Sage. Now, Sage by itself doesn't do anything exactly other than like summon Blue Eyes by Dragon. But to get to Blue Eyes by Dragon, they have to activate Mausoleum. So they should probably have gone into Spirit Plaza Blue and then attacked over the Vectron first before doing any of this, but they did not. So that's the end of their True Light. They now have no True Light for the rest of the game. They are playing with one vanilla Blue Eyes, turn by turn at this point. Because what does the Maiden in their hand do now? Like, it probably should have searched the Valor if they were going to run into this like that. And I've drawn 3 cards so far. Spirit Plaza Blue gets Mausoleum. Their extra normal summon of Maiden with white, and then they will target the Maiden At this point, I don't think it matters because the Maiden currently can't summon anything because the card in their graveyard is a spellcaster and they're a Dragon Lock by Spirit Blast Blue. So the targeting didn't really make a difference. They have Blue Eyes White Dragon engraved, so Spirit tries to summon it. I can throw that. Because the Maiden's not in the graveyard, I can't. Because the Maiden's not in the graveyard, I can't come back from some of those Blue Eyes, so they're down 1 Blue Eyes in a deck that plays 2 Blue Eyes. They're down True Light in a deck that plays 1 True Light. But they have Ultimate Fusion, so they are going to get to put back this Blue Eyes, which protects it from getting banished. So they're like making a play. This is my 4th card over their Maxi. The Spirit Less Blue can only summon... Oh, it summons a Blue Eyes monster. Alright, so we got Blue Eyes of this dragon on the field. On the board is not game. Can they get the game using these cards? I don't think so. I feel like an all-level 8 deck would be cool just to have room for the Gluvion package to just try and end the game. But with all your monsters being so huge, you shouldn't need it. The problem is, like, all these guys are, like, defense position monsters. They're, like, 4,000 effect guys that have to be in defense position. They're on an entire new hand off of their Maxi. Tyrant has to choose something by battle as a trap card. They got first out of the graveyard. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon is supposed to search a card, I think, during the end phase. I think it searches Poly in the end phase, and when it's summoned, it's supposed to search for, that 6 cards they set 1. I think they hit. I don't remember what card they have. They have Majesties. It's whatever. There's just no way they can beat, like, an 8-card hand with this board. So I definitely have to win this game. So I set a bunch of cards, partially, blow them all up with Deviati and trigger all. That's pretty funny. Now, if they have Imperm, I played into Imperm pretty well. Because I'm level locked, and the other cards in my hand are both Infernoids. They can't be summoned here, but I do have Abomination's Prison, so one of those cards was never actually dead. They choose to summon off Spirit now, which I don't get. I'm on an Unchained deck, you can stop me from triggering the graveyard effects of my Unchained cards, but you opt to get rid of your Spirit before that. So Shavar activates in hand, so you can't negate that with Spirit Dragons. Escape activates in graveyard, so you can't negate that with Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Abomination activates in my hand, so you can't negate that with Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Chain block from graveyard on the Ana. Let it copy your chamber. We have 2 chambers down now. Off the chamber that they know exists, because the other one could be anything. It's implied that it's like an Unchained card. Summoning Rakea. And the question is it even worth using the on-field effect? I probably should have, because Blue Eyes Ultimate doesn't, like, negate. I mean, it negates, but doesn't destroy, so activating it would just pitch the Sights monster from my hand, allowing a different monster effect to go through. The negate Promethean Princess is already, like, an Infernoid on field to go into Flood with, so that's what they're going to do. Because the Deviani on field doesn't do anything, because it's just negated by Imperm. You can afford to get rid of it. He'll link off. Still got Thrust. I feel like just showing them Thrust earlier would have made them concede, and I wouldn't have to go through all this. And yep, that is where the concession happens. Let's take a look at the next game. 20 and 20, so we are at even, I think. If anyone keeps like a correct count on the series as you're going, if you want to like double check these, I am pressing a button as I watch each replay back, so. Which is also part of the reason I haven't been recording these live, because I already recorded like the first few, so, and I have the win-loss counter on the screen here. So if I were to start recording them live, I have to know how many wins and losses I have before I keep going. I got to at least get through these. So we have Imagination, which is a good going second card, but they started with Sylvie. I could draw on the Dark Ruler, which might do something. So there's some incentive to continue playing. Also, until they show me for sure that they have Deception or Wanted, with the 3 of them playing it, like, this could just be after a White Forest deck. Probably not. Possibly not playing like the Snake Eye cards. I don't know why they wouldn't, but it's possible. So there's Deception, which is a good incentive to concede. But they've also got Woes. So they're going to activate Hollow, get Mu Arcilago to search Wanted the Black Witch. So already I have a hand with 2 live cards in it. Between Imagination plus Petrulia. That's really have hope when I was playing this game that there's a top deck that does something here, or a top deck that's worth like continuing the game over. And so they've returned Hollow, and they've returned, they returned a Vercelia, and they've gone into Baron. They have a Book of Moon. They get to draw a card off Wanted. They're summoning Sylvia, so I'm not sure why I'm sticking around the game. Come on, Dark Ruler off the top. Dark Ruler off the top, and then Ash my imagination, and then the game can end. Video clip of this particular game was 8 minutes, so we're only 5 minutes into it, so I assume it ends shortly, but I'm not sure if that means I win or lose, so we'll see. This looks like they might just wind up timing out. Alright, so we have Banishment and Imagination. Banishment is effectively Imagination. It's the card that's preferable to start with, because if they negate it, then you're not Infernoid locked. Ability also negates effects, not activations, so if they negate the placement of this card on the field, it would buff it. There was a chance my opponent can misplay badly. Sylvie negates the Banishment, so it's physically still on the field. Summoning Patrula for Patrula. I'll pop my card, because I don't know which of their cards is worth popping to begin with. Also, this can trigger a bomb in my hand and summon a guy from the deck. So we're going to pop our Chamber, use Chamber to summon from the deck, try and get a Shavar on the field. I think they feel better about that, flipping one of our cards face down, which is an option they have. I'm going to summon this now, and maybe they'll think that I'm going to discard, and I'll have to negate the on-field effect. I have to keep Imagination in hand. They don't know that. Let's see. So they're going to summon from deck by sending a spell trap to the graveyard off via Bell to get a Synchro Tuner to book my guys. Now, booking my guys is not that problematic sometimes. Depends on what they do. I summon Rudkea here necessarily. I think I figured Shavar is just going to get stuck face down. I try to pop my bomb for some reason. I think it's just want to bluff. Like, why would I do that? They use Baron on it, which means I'm now free to use Imagination. So sometimes you make weird plays, your opponent will respond because they don't know what you're doing. So they have called by. Okay, this is all working in my favor, I'd say, because they've used most of their responses so far. They booked me with the Silvera. They wasted a call by. Baron's gone. All they have left is, I think, a trap card, Book of Moon. And I have Imagination. So if they have Ash Blossom, they have Ash. Then the game's over. But if they don't, one of the things you can do is when you're fusion summoning for Tiara, you can use with the on-field face-down Infernoids to get them off the field and into the graveyard to be summoned again, or to use this material. That's one of the things I'm going to do. I think I was 50-50 on whether or not I wanted to send this a jet to leave a feast on, but I only left one negate left in the deck. So I sent Tiara. Allowing White Force to send cards from their actually the graveyard could be problematic, because if they put their White Force synchros, they can just put them back again. Alright, so I dumped Evil to get a Search for Imagination to lower my level count. I sent Yama as a protection. Sometimes 2 Yamas is like the play. Play around like a Vistial, but I like to keep the Yama in the deck to link into. And I sent Sequence as a card that Sequence doesn't get into the Fiendsmith play, so I often send the Sequence off of the Tiara, because it's like the end card. So if I can't get the stuff anyway, then it's the most expendable card in the extra deck, but it's still recyclable. So I summon Anoku. This can clear my field and their field. Like, there's no reason I should be winning this game. So I guess this is an Infernoid count. And our opponent just concedes. Nice. It's 2 games into... Oh, they didn't concede. It was a time limit. All right, let's play our next game. Finally on a winning streak here. Haven't really been able to get one. All right, so we have lost the dice roll. Our opponent is choosing to go first, so we are going second. Our opener going first is a mediocre Snake Eye hand, but we have Duster and Dark Ruler, the ultimate combo to clearing boards. I like their username. It is a hand trap deck. They could be on anything. The length of this replay is about 3 minutes. We are 1 minute in, so either I scoop right away or they scoop right away. Unclear which one so far. But they actually are on Exodia probably, because, the leg's on the board. Also, they have Ankh in hand. All right, 6,000 light points. They are going into Silhat Rabbit, which is what you do with the bodies that just get shuffled back off of Ankh when you summon them. So there is Exodia. That if you try to maxi challenge the Exodia deck, they just win by Exodia. But they try to negate my spell trap. I get to use Thrust also. Alright, so they've activated Angel Statue. So I opt to just start with Dark Ruler. Stir, and then they had an Imperm set. We'll go into Bonfire, and if they like Valor me, I guess I search for, if they Valor or Maxi, I get to search for Brass and just go off. And there's Vincent. Get the next one. This first replay is only like a minute long, so I'm assuming our opponent just scoops instantly. I guess we'll see. It's a rank up match, so this is our rank up game. First, at least. So we win the dice roll, we're going first. So either we're going to immediately concede or they're going to immediately concede. Our hand is whack. So a normal summon Hope doesn't really do anything. I activate Imagination and then just try to do something. What does my Ash do here? Searches Decatron? They spooked. I don't know why. Welcome to Diamond 3. And then Diamond 3 will continue here. So we are continuing because that was a really fast climb. We're going to play out Diamond 3. See if we can make it to Diamond 2 in this one video. Do a double rank up. Alright, so our opponent is choosing to go first. We are going second. Our hand has double Maxi going second, which is something. If they negate it, then what are we doing? In a way, I really need cards, so it was probably better to wait, but considering what they're doing, it doesn't seem like I could have timed out that Maxi any better. Against set 5. Banquet of Millions. That's a funny card there. Is this like one of those FTKs? So their extra deck gets banished face down forever. Mine gets banished face up, which means it triggers my evil to search for Void Banishment against a deck with no extra deck. Imagination doesn't really do anything. Also, I don't have an extra deck at the moment, so Imagination really doesn't do anything. Now, they don't have any monsters to use a monster effect to trigger my Thrust, so my Thrust is a dead card, but I'd rather have my Sharvara in the graveyard, my Shyama in the graveyard. Opponent is thinking. So they are on Lab, so we have another Maxi, so we get to Maxi them again. So Maxi resolves, we're going to draw one card. They'll have one card here, so they can't be on, like... They can't be on the Simultaneous Equation Cannon build because they have no extra deck to use those effects. Right, so we'll be searching Feast by pitching the Shyama. If they activate a monster effect, we might actually be able to turn on Thrust. So I'm going to banish the Anoku here. We are Infernoid locked, so we can't summon Shyama this turn. We'll be able to summon it next turn. Currently, if they just pop the banishment, they turn off Feast, which is probably the best thing they can do if they can find a way to trigger Lovely's effect. So they are activating Big Welcome, which means they could bounce back their lady, protect it, or in this case, they've summoned a lady and bounced back a lady. I don't know why I've been seeing people on 2 ladies lately, and they pop a card randomly in my hand, which is not the better choice. Now, I have several options, but because I'm Fiend locked, like, the question becomes, like, what should I get? Like, I don't want to turn off my Feast, but odds are they're not going to be able to clear Feast at this point, so I'll just go for Original. Original can go into Decatron, Decatron go into Petrula. That'll also let me get my Sightsmoss live, although Lady is a little big for Sightsmoss. Sightsmoss's biggest weakness is that it only has 2600 attack, so there's often monsters it can't attack into. Putting their monsters in defense position is helpful. So we'll send Petrula and pop this back row. It is a Karma Cannon, so they can only use 1 trap for the rest of the turn after this resolves. Unless they choose to chain a trap, and they've chained Karma Cannon. So Karma Cannon is in my favor here because Sightsmoss can attack over Lady in defense. And they're sending Morella. So Morella would allow them to set up a transaction rollback, but transaction rollback loses to Infernoids because DD Crow on the targeted trap of rollback would prevent it from resolving. They only have in their hand Big Lady. So we're going to end the battle phase attack over Lady, and then at the end of the battle phase we'll be able to force out the Morella. They used the Morella earlier, so theoretically if they activate Morella early, then the Morella would definitely get to the graveyard. I would just tribute the Decatron to banish the target for the trap trick, the rollback. There's rollback. The Morella doesn't get to the graveyard here, so they don't have like a blocker when I activate Void Feast, because if I activate Void Feast they can trigger the Morella and summon it back. Although they are locked into something because of Welcome. I think Welcome locks them into Fiends from the extra deck. I have to read Welcome again. Welcome Labyrinth. Cannot special summon monsters from the deck or extra deck except Fiend monsters. Alright. So why they're doing it in my end phase, that they felt the need to do this rollback now. Like, they could have held it. Like, maybe they set up a card that I have to DD Pro more. I don't know what card that would be, but it would be safer than doing this, because this just loses. And I think I get my extra deck back at the end of the turn. That's how Banquet works. So they concede. They got Banquet, we return my extra deck at the end of the turn. So our opponent wins a dice roll, and we are going second, because they've chosen to go first. And our hand is bad for going first, so I'm glad we're going second. I need cards, so we're going to max C hard here. So that looks like a Cyber's Pile / Math Mech deck. So when they use Circular, we can max C and try and draw some cards. Will they have Ash / Called By / Crossout? Yep, so we're playing through with the cards we have here. Now this hand, going second into Math Mech, can be alright. Because they use Laplacian, they don't really pop our trap cards. The Dark Ruler can stop Terahertz from sending something, but Terahertz will probably send the Save Worm on their turn, so my Dark Ruler might not do anything here. So they've already got Super Factorial, they now have Diameter. Thinking for Splash, Splash for something. I don't think... Splash always brings things in defense, so that's Decode Talker. Alright, Splash can bring back the Circular. I don't know why they insist on having Circular on the board specifically. So there's a Transcode Talker. We'll be bringing back Splash Mage. This can probably go into Decode Talker Heat Soul, and they can draw a card. There is Terahertz, it'll send Dotscaper. In a way, that could be good for me. If they don't, like, immediately shotgun the Terahertz and send the Save Worm next turn, I can just, like, Dark Ruler them and prevent the Save Worm from going. So there's Heat Soul, they draw a card. Like a Small World into a hand trap, I guess. They have Parallel Exceed in their hand. They need to find a Cyberse that's light, which means they can go into Valor. So of all the hand traps they can go into here, they went into Valor, which means they might have Maxi or they might have Ash already. At the very least, if I Dark Ruler, that means my Aruha can actually do some stuff. They've sent the Save Worm, they've drawn a card. I suspect that I can't win this game from here, so we're going to Dark Ruler immediately, which is going to clear the attack points of Terahertz. It also means I can activate cards in the battle phase, but Super Factorial into Laplacian just sends... It just sends the Unchained or the spells to the graveyard. But I could Crash and then summon Abomination, and Abomination can pop either Terahertz or Super Factorial, but they weren't about to let that happen. So we lose the dice roll again. Our opponent is choosing to go first, so we're going second. If I remember, I played like a sequence of Math Mech duelists in a row, so I think we're up against Math Mech again. It might not be the same Math Mech player. I'm pretty sure it's a Math Mech game. Again, a lot of these games were played a couple days ago. Almost feels like a repeat. We're seeing open Signet Mining, although they started with Firewall Defender. This time I have Dark Ruler and a couple of other spells, so maybe there's something to bait the Save Worm. So Circular for Sigma, Sigma to summon back, Circular to search for Super Factorial. Oh, they searched for Equation, which means they have Super Factorial. Probably. Allen version to get Diameter. Unless they've already got Diameter, in which case they can get like Subtraction or Addition or something. Right, so normal Diameter, bring back Circular. Oh, they're bringing back Defender or Defensor. With Firewall Guardian. This card is sent to the graveyard as material for a link summon of Cyberse. You can special summon this card. The bench when it leaves the field, so it's bringing itself back. Or if it didn't bring itself back, it's being brought back off Splash Mage and it's going for Link Decoder. It can bring itself back now. Or did it bring itself back? Maybe I'm misreading or misremembering the spot. So Transcode brings back Splash Mage. Splash Mage has already been used. They are definitely Cyberse locked by Sigma. There's Heat Soul. We'll draw a card. There's Terahertz. So they're playing against the same board as last time. Plus they have more cards in hand. They've set more cards as well. So Terahertz sends the Save Worm. So they're going to draw a card immediately. And yeah, this is going to be tough. Let's see what we can do. Decatron's a good start because it can deal with either the Save Worm or it can deal with, what do you call it? Diameter being in the gate. Okay, I vaguely remember this game now. This game is a near throw. Like, no, this game is a throw. I definitely throw this game. So if you're not familiar with the term throw, it just means you've thrown away the win. So, like, I have a very specific play I need to do to win this game, and I do it wrong. Like, there's a play around the Save Worm I just don't do. I don't know why I don't do it. I just did not do it. I don't know how they would respond if I did it correctly, but we'll see. So I suspect they're waiting for a bigger card to negate with the Save Worm, which only works when they have a Link 5. So I think to myself, I'm going to use Sequence now to see if I can bait out the Super Factorial so that I can get the Diameter on the field, and get the depletion out of the way. So currently, I'm just hoping I forget what I want them to hit. We'll see in a second. Because the game planning comes after this. Alright, so they got rid of Banishment, which I don't really want to get locked into Infernoid anyway. So this is like a preferable spot. I have Dark Ruler, so this can turn off Diameter, and it turns off Terahertz to send something else. But I need to clear the Terahertz so that I can use the spell card. Alright, and they can't use the Save Worm against Dark Ruler because it's a monster. But I'm pretty sure the line is to summon back Engraver. Go into Requiem. Requiem summon Engraver. Requiem equip to Engraver. Engraver send Terahertz. Activate Abomination's Prison. Okay, so they activated Cross Out Calling Called By. I guess they thought they might have had Dark Ruler and they thought it would be a good thing to use. So they basically showed me that I don't have to worry about Called By. And then I activate the Abomination's Prison first. So close. Just had to summon Engraver. Engraver, Requiem, Requiem to Engraver. Requiem equip. Engraver send Terahertz to the graveyard. Activate Abomination's Prison, search Travara, set Abomination's Prison, activate Travara. And here I have no place. I'm just going to put the loss up right now. Because like I see the play, because I do it now, and they don't stop it. So my assumption is that they have no reason to stop it, or they couldn't stop it. So all I had to do is resequence that, because this is like the only play I have left. And I'm dead if I don't have a way to pop the Abomination's Prison, which I don't. So I'm just going to fast forward to the next game, since this is clearly over. And we're dead. Okay, so alrighty, so we are about to ruin the day of an opponent. They are in a rank down game. They have won the dice roll, and they are choosing to go first. I don't recall playing a sequence of 3 math mechs in a row. Maybe it's math, and then I'll get to enjoy winning a game after losing 2 in a row. So they have the Ankh, which means this is just the standard Millennium board. I vaguely remember playing a Millennium game where my opponent just summons Exodia, then sets like Macrocosmos, and I can't do anything. So this looks like it could be the case. So this could be a game where we just lose to Macro. Like under Macro, speaking of, so under Macro I can't use Imagination. Under Defissure I can, which is why there was like a game earlier in this climb where I had a shot to beat Fluanderies and just misplayed. Chamber can do something. So what's the play? The play is still Dark Ruler, so this looks like I'm trying to make a trap live, and then the goal is to hope that they activate the trap card to pop the back row, and then I can summon an Unchained from the deck, and then with Exodia negated, I can then discard a card. I probably should have set this and went to the end phase. I think my brain was telling me I confused under this, because of the situation that happened with the Flu deck, because I can't pay the cost here, so this is just wrong. So the goal was for them to pop my trap card in the end phase, but they might have done it for 2 trap cards. Oh, they did do it. Okay. So here the play is to trigger Chamber and then discard a card to try and deal with Exodia. Because currently I'm dead to Exodia. But I think if they have Imperm, I just lose anyway. Okay, so I think they have to send me to the graveyard to summon their guy, so they don't get to send. So I just get rid of Exodia. Maybe I do win this game. I don't remember who wins this game. I'm pretty sure I recall not being able to do anything in conceding. They've got some Millenniums. Do they just put out damage? That's 2,000 to them. That's Wenju Temple. Wenju gets to put a monster in the back row. Is it just a card from the hand or they're a monster? So if it's a monster, they have to have a monster. So they put Droll in the back row. Droll's dead in this spot. Sen Engine is going to get another Millennium. They get part of Blue Eyes. So they have 4,750 on the board. This is going to get Ankh, and if Ankh has another Exodia to summon, that's 4,000, so that is game. So let us fast forward to the next game. So, next game. Rank down game. Fantastic. So we just got into Diamond 3. We got here pretty easily, so hopefully we don't rank down. So the way I've been recording these videos is I record I start playing, and I stop playing. I record every game. Now, sometimes I record them one game at a time, sometimes I just record the whole set. But the set stops either when I do rank up, when I do rank down, or I dodge rank down. So I'm not sure if I'm ranking down now or dodging rank down now. Pretty sure I'm dodging rank down because I don't recall ranking down more than once in this climb so far. But it's a double rank down game, which means my opponent is doing poorly, whether it's because their deck is bad or they're playing bad. Or they've gotten unlucky, it's hard to say, because all those things are justifiable. Alright, so they start with Trudea. Trudea puts Primera in the back row. Primera summons itself and searches for Field Spell. I tried to play like the loner deck games and totally screwed up knowing, like, getting like stand-up. Like, you just really need stand-up on the board so you can actually do the synchro summons. So, like, I forgot to do that. For whatever reason, they grabbed Emeth, which is not, like, common. So they put Gargoyle in the back row. Summon Gargoyle. Gargoyle can go into, with Primera, into Auxilla. Auxilla can search a card. What card did they search? I don't know. So there's Auxilla. It can get Phalanx, or it can get something else. Gargoyle is used for synchro material. It gets added back to the hand. It can summon itself by sending one of these cards. Wake Up can summon a token. The token can be 4 or 8. So they can summon a token at level 8. And then they are going to send Trudea to summon Gargoyles. So now they have 2 level 8s. Seems like a odd play here. And then they link for Silahat Rabbit. I don't know what they're doing. I feel like this is a odd line. Okay, so Wake Up can send a card to the graveyard. So Wake Up can send Phalanx, and Phalanx can bring back Auxilla. So that Auxilla in the end phase can set something. I feel like this is someone who found a line that they like, and it's just not the common line, and it's not as good as they think it is. This is what it feels like. So they have Primera in the back row, which can synchro with the token. We get the first play, so we know that that's Angel Statue of Azaroon. So they have Ash for Decatron. So I thought I was going to lose them just to rank down right there, just because, like, what do I do here if they get into, like if they make it to Blazar, what do I do here? I don't know. So they use Primera slash stand up, so they can synchro and search. They have Emeth to put the token in the back row. I don't know why you'd ever want a token in your back row. You actually can't summon tokens from the back row, it's just like a ruling. If a token winds up in the back row for whatever reason, as an equipment spell, as a trap card, you physically cannot summon it again, so it's like the worst card to put in the back row. Because the token doesn't really have stats, so like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, how would you summon it back? So they have another stand-up. They have Crimson Dragon probably going for Blazar. So they wound up close to like the normal end board, but it was done really awkwardly. I don't know if it's good or bad. So I'm going to set a card, activate Escape. Like, do you really want to negate that? They don't, so we have Sharvara, we activate Escape to summon from deck. For reasons I don't know, they've yet to activate Azaroon. Maybe they've blocked the zone, because I'm pretty sure they can pop a back row. So at the moment, I get to set up my Yama, and its summon can be negated by Blazar, but they passed on having the option to do that with the Azaroon, which I think they should have done. So Blazar is going to get the summon of the Yama, so we don't get to search, but we do get to set the back row card. But we also have Shyama to get to access from this. So, and technically, because I didn't successfully summon Yama yet, I can still activate the effect of Yama. Like, if they didn't negate my summon, try to negate my effect, then they would be chain blocked by Sharvara. Negating Sharvara would have been a bigger deal. So I summon back Shyama, which triggers the trap card. I summon out Rikea. That way I can get to Sarama after this. So now this can just pop Azaroon, and then Azaroon's like a non-factor. Again, I don't know why they never summoned it. Also, I'm going to have to summon another Yama anyway, so using like a Yama turn 1 here is like less of a big deal than it would normally be. So there's Sarama. Alright, we're going into Yama again. My guess is we get Aruha, summon Aruha, then activate Sarama to set a trap card and pop the Aruha. That way the Yama's in graveyard. Oh, I popped the Sarama. I don't really want to pop my Sarama. Maybe I bring my Sarama back now? Okay, that is what's happening, I think. Oh, bringing back the Decatron. I think it's going for game. I just forget how I get there. Alright, so we use the Yama to pop the Aruha for some reason. There's a lot of stuff I can chain block at this point. Auxilla says something about field spell zone. The cards in the field spell zone can't be destroyed. So I'm going to use Aruha to float, a bomb to pitch Sights Moss, Degatron to send a card. Like, I feel like I could have done that in a different order. Not sure why I did it in that order. Sending Harmadic. Harmadic can pop monster, so we are pretty close to just game. So we pop Auxilla. Aruha summons back the Shyama, so it's in the graveyard for next turn. We can pop the Solar Hat Rabbit, go into Promethean Princess, bring back Decatron. Decatron can turn into Deviati to stop a Bestial, and then I can just attack for game. That's my guess on how I approach this. I'm not really sure. Because, like, if I go into Flood, like, I just turn off my negate, so it doesn't feel like the right play. So yeah, looks like we just game them through a Centaurion board, but it did seem like a pretty weird board. And for whatever reason, they never used their... Alright, so that is maintaining the ring. Alright, so I'll see you guys next time when we try to climb for Diamond 2.